Welcome to Fish News! I'm your host Sid Rosie, reporting fish news on channel Fish News. I'll be sharing these 4 stories today. Lana fish heel gate, 2 new species found, fish have social stress and microbiomes, and updates on some aquariums in Disney World. Stay tuned to find out what chaos ensues after a drag queen uses live fish for a performance. We'll be right back. Let's just keep swimming into this first story, shall we? Lux Noir London's drag daughter, Lana was recently called out on Twitter for using common goldfish in her performance. She put live fish and gravel in a small amount of water in the bottom of her heels. The tweet reads, "The diva who wore live fish in her shoes for a pageant? Sister, no." To which Lux replied, "Y'all are so annoying." As a fan of Lux, an animal lover, and a fish keeper, it was really disappointing to see her defending this. Candy Muse also tweeted about the situation, saying, "Y'all don't care about black people. To be okay with a white man mass reporting a black queer person to the police over a goldfish is crazy." And I would tend to agree. That is absolutely crazy. Nobody should be dragging anyone else down. Pun not intended, now's not the time. This should have just been a civil discussion, maybe a learning experience about goldfish, but instead people decided to take it way too far. Candy Muse also tweeted, "Being upset over a goldfish in a heel is some out of this world boredom. Like, please, it's a fish, a goldfish, a feeder fish. There are bigger things to worry about in this world. However, you, as a white cis man going on your large platform and asking your followers to report a black queer drag queen over a feeder goldfish is a very dangerous situation. Y'all are annoying as f." There's a lot to unpack here. First of all, yes, Lana is absolutely being put in a dangerous situation by the mass reportings, and I think that is completely wrong. Those are insane people who are absolutely bored doing that. And Candy's also right that there are bigger things to worry about in this world, especially right now. However, I do think we can hold space for a conversation about fish and the fact that they do have feelings. Thousands of people keep feeder goldfish as pets, whether they win them from a carnival or buy them from the feeder goldfish tank like I assume Lana did. Just because the fish may have been sold as a feeder doesn't mean that its life is any less valuable. It also doesn't mean that they were going to be eaten. They could have been bought as a pet. If they were going to be eaten, at least it would be quick, and it would serve a purpose of keeping a bigger fish alive. But they do feel pain just like any other animal. One Twitter user said, "Dear Lord, please double the pain these fish faced and give it to Lux, Candy, and Lana." To which Candy replied, "F them fish." Well, them fish would say, "F you too, Candy." They said it, not me. Lana finally addressed the situation on her Instagram story, which read, "Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to address something. Recently, I made the questionable decision to put goldfish inside of my shoes as part of a performance. At the time, I genuinely thought it was a creative and fun idea." I would have to agree. This is Sid now, not Lana, by the way. Hi. But the idea is really cool. It was a trend in the 70s, especially for the disco scene. And I've always loved the concept of having live fish in shoes. I think it's cool. But now that I know more about fish, I can't help but wonder, why not fake fish? Everyone's life would be easier. Anyway. Sorry, back to Lana. "And I took precautions to ensure they were safe." Okay, sorry again for interrupting, but I would love to know the details on what these precautions were. Okay, back to Lana. "But looking back, I realized that wasn't right and definitely wasn't okay. Goldfish aren't accessories, and they definitely didn't sign up to be my backup dancers. While I intended for no harm to come to them, the fact that I put them in this situation at all was a huge mistake. I'm deeply sorry to anyone I've upset or disappointed. Moving forward, I'll make sure to keep my creative ideas fish-free." No! We love fish around here. Just not the live fish in the, yeah, I think we get it by now. Thank you for holding me accountable and reminding me that not every idea is a good one. I think this was a really responsible and mature response from Lana. I'm so happy she was open to all the critiques she got, but it's just such a shame that those critiques had to come with a ton of hate also. Lana has since retweeted some funny posts about the situation, so it seems like she's laughing it off now, and she has bigger fish to fry anyway, because she is on season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race. It's gonna premiere on January 3rd, and despite this messy ass situation, I'm gonna be supporting her fully, and I can't wait to see what she brings to the show. Hopefully not any goldfish. Stay tuned for our next story, which reveals how 2 new fish species were discovered. We'll be right back. We have 2 very finteresting mini stories up next. The long-toothed grouper fish has been debated on by experts for 165 years. Some think it's only one species, while others argue that it's 2 different species. A long time ago, they were classified as 2 different species. We've got E. bruneus, first identified in 1793, and E. mora, described in 1843. And we got E. coli. I'm just kidding. There was only 2. Those are some antique fish right there. Eventually, the 2 were groupered together as one species. Hang in there. Just hang in there with me bear with me. Bear with me. In an effort to settle the debate once and for all, scientists collected dozens of groupers from the South China Sea, East China Sea, and from the Ha Long fish market in Vietnam. They collected them to analyze their DNA, appearance, and old records, and they noticed a pattern. The groupers from the South China Sea and the East China Sea were consistently different. This is when they realized they discovered a new species, the mud grouper. The specific name is Randalli in honor of Dr. E. Randall, who passed away in 2020. Mud groupers can reach over a foot in length and have a large mouth and sharp teeth. They live off the coast of Vietnam, China, and southern Taiwan, while long-toothed groupers are found in northern regions. The distinction between the 2 species will help scientists monitor fish populations and ensure that conservation and aquaculture efforts are tailored to the specific needs of each fish. Too long didn't read. Woo! New fish unlocked. The next new character we've unlocked is called a Kramer's elephantfish. It was caught by anglers in Mozambique, who described it as a weakly electric fish with a thick tail. Elephantfish are an understudied group of fish, so a team of scientists from Central and Eastern Africa tracked down 140 fish specimens to compare. This is when they realized they discovered a new species. And look how cute it is. The Kramer's elephantfish grows to about 2 inches in length, have no top fin along their spine, an oblong body, small mouth, and several teeth. Just several. They live in streams with a sandy and rocky bottom and were found hiding in plant roots along the riverbed. Researchers said they named the fish after Bernd Kramer for his contributions to the study of elephantfish. Up next, we have 2 more mini stories about more fish discoveries. So stay tuned just for the halibut. Welcome back to Fish News. Did you know that fish suffer from social stress? Researchers found that male fish with low status in their social hierarchy have higher levels of oxidative stress in their brain. This is linked to reduced mental and neurological health in humans. Relatable. They picked cichlids to study because they have a strict, visible social hierarchy. The dominant males are bigger, more aggressive, more colorful, and have higher levels of androgen hormones. They court females and defend their territory. So the research team set up 15 tanks, which they put dividers in. 6 females were put on one side, while 2 males were put on the other side. The fish could see and interact with their neighboring groups, and each compartment had a half of a flower pot, which gave the males some sort of territory to defend. In every group except 2, the cichlids developed a hierarchy which remained stable for the weeks of the experiment. The scientists eventually took blood samples and dissected the cichlids' brains, revealing that low-status fish had higher levels of oxidative stress. These findings could help treat human stress-related disorders in the future. Another finding that could help us folk who have, what are they called again? Oh, feet. Is that fish have microbiomes in their brain. This was discovered by researchers at the University of New Mexico. They found bacteria thriving in salmon and trout brains. Matthew Ulm, a physiologist who studies the human microbiome at the University of Colorado, says, "This is concrete evidence that brain microbiomes do exist in vertebrates, and so the idea that humans have a brain microbiome is not outlandish." So thank your local cichlid salmon and trout next time you see them for their contributions to science. Stay tuned for our last story. We have updates on some of Disney World's aquariums. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fish News. Our last story entails some fantastic updates on some of Disney World's fish tanks. First up, Epcot's Living with the Land ride goes right through a fish farm which houses tilapia, bass, and shrimp. The room has been decorated with blue Christmas lights, 2 giant wreaths, and a stack of presents. The lighting's cool blue tone is in stark contrast to the typical red lighting in this room, and I love it. I wish it could always look like this. Epcot's Sea Base Aquarium, which is the second largest aquarium in the US, has also begun decorating for Christmas. The big tank in the nursery has a Christmas tree with corals hanging from it. My favorite tank in the nursery has a bunch of snowflakes in it, and it looks like a winter wonderland. The sea urchins have been given green Mickey hats rather than the usual black or the orange, which was featured on Halloween. This guy's wearing it sideways and swears it's cool. The baby cuttlefish tank is a mini Candyland decorated with 3 lollipops, while the adult cuttlefish tank is a candy world decorated with 3 gingerbread houses. Their coconut hides were left in place inside of the houses. There's also a huge Christmas tree and a sign which reads Christmas Cuttlefish Village established in 2014. These decorations were my favorite because I love Candy Christmas and I love cuttlefish, so this was a dream come true. One last update, they've finally added some more fish to the big tank in the ocean life room, which was left empty except for 2 fish after renovations. This big blue one was being bullied by the yellow one, I'm assuming because that's the new one in town. There are also 2 new clownfish, which seemed to be pretty new and unsure of their surroundings, so I hope they settle in soon and can find a nice cozy anemone to live in. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part of today's episode was. I have 2. Mine was Lana Fish Heel Gate and the Christmas cuttlefish tank. Super cute. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love. I'll be sharing these 4 Stay tuned for our next story, which reveals how 2 new